Hello everyone, and welcome back to The Crow. I'm Lauren Ballard, the multimedia editor for the Chanticleer, and The Crow is our podcast, and here we will briefly discuss and go behind the scenes on the stories that were published this past week. And coming up, soon to be published, it should be published by the time this comes out, we have Emma Christopher, one of our correspondents, here to talk about her recent assignment on Jax Books.
Hey!
So Emma, what was it about? What did you go into? Because I know Jax Books is fairly new as of, was it last semester?
I think it was initiated in July of last year, and then it went into effect in fall.
Exactly.
I think.
Yeah. So how's it been? What is your story about?
Well, it's only Jax Books up until this point has been for like students getting a 4-year degree, but it hasn't really expanded to like dual enrollment and graduate students. And they just came to a decision, the Board of Trustees, to extend that to Jax State students who are, dual enrollment or graduate students. And so that's going to go into effect in fall of this year.
Oh, so, wow. I didn't even realize that because I remember, I think I wrote the story in July about it, and I was like, I wonder what they're going to do about everybody else.
Because it was fairly new, so I guess they were still fleshing out the details and stuff. But yeah, in fall of 2026, they'll be included because I talked to Kevin Holt, who was in charge of, there's a group that specifically works on Jax Books.
Oh, really?
And yeah, he's in charge of it. And he helped me out. And then I also talked to Andrea Porter, who's in that group with him, and they both helped come up with the decision. And they said that graduate and dual enrollment students, they had like 2 programs, and they were getting emails from both programs, including Jax Books. And Andrea Porter sent out a survey to those students and was like, is this kind of confusing for y'all? Let me know. And then they were all like, yeah. So they all said that they wouldn't mind, in the survey switching to Jax Books instead, and just having that be the program where they get their books from. And so, yeah.
Very interesting. I know there was a lot of back and forth about Jax Books when it was launched. And in your story, were you able to like get a number of how many people were opted in or out or not?
I wasn't. I guess since there's not an official opt-out date yet because it's fairly new. So I don't know for sure. But,
Well, I'm excited to see how this is going to turn out for dual enrollment and grad students, especially dual enrollment. I didn't do dual enrollment through JSU.
Oh, I did.
How was that?
It was pretty straightforward, but I obviously didn't have Jax Books then, so I've always been one to forget about my textbooks, so I definitely would have been helpful to be like, oh, okay, this is already included, with my tuition and stuff. So I think it will definitely help, and that's what both of the sources that I talked to said. They were like, we just think this will be easier for everyone, because it can be kind of complicated. And yeah, so I think it'll hopefully work out in everyone's favor.
What about like cost-wise? And because a lot of people were not happy about like if your class isn't assigned to your book,
right?
They'd still charge you.
They said you can always opt out. That's still always an option. Every student is like automatically signed up for it, but then you can obviously opt out, and then they'll announce the date, I think, for dual enrollment and graduate students later on. But yeah, I think it'll be a good update for everyone.
Yeah.
And I think last semester, whenever it was officially initiated, it was like $23 per credit hour, so it would probably be similar for dual enrollment and graduate students.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being on here, and I can't wait to read it when it comes out. Should be up, guys, when you're reading when this comes out, so definitely
check it out.
Check it out, especially if you're a grad student, dual enrollment student.
Yes.
Well, anyways, have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, now I'm here with one of our other correspondents, Sam Napoli, to talk about a story that you just put out about a new hire here on campus. So what do you got to tell us? Who's this new hire?
I think maybe the first thing, the more interesting part is like how the story came about, because we're sitting down the hall outside of Mr. Cunningham's office, and I get a tweet notification, And I'm just like scrolling through Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it now, as I do. And I go, wow, we just hired a basketball coach. Like, it's pretty big news. I recognize the name. Anna Kate's walking by and she goes, yeah, we did. But the thing is that in sports, it's a lot different because sports journalists will have a source inside of a team, an organization that will break news before a team or, in this case, the university releases that information. So we knew that Jacksonville State was hiring their coach. It was about an hour before the university officially released, hey, we just hired Ricky Austin as our coach, right? So we couldn't do a ton. Like, I guess we could. We used the press release as one of the sources, but one of the things that we had to do was just kind of got information on him because, well, we know the news before it's actually broken. So who he is the father of Ace Austin. Is maybe the most important thing because she is a point guard, shooting guard on the Alabama Crimson Tide right now. Okay. I got to watch her play in high school, actually, which is kind of funny because I'm not even from here. So she went to Spring Garden. A lot of people probably have heard of it. It's a 1A school, very small, but kind of like the best 1A school around. He was their coach for 30 years.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
And his daughter played for him, obviously, and she's just a prodigy. Like, she was known as one of the best basketball players around since she was in middle school. She may transfer here. I know someone may, like, people have been asking about that. The portal opens up in a few days, Monday or Tuesday. Okay. So that's when we will really find out. I think that's maybe the biggest thing about this because Jacksonville State hasn't really had a star in, I shouldn't say in any sport because, like, Cook was really good for the football team. But, like, that would be a different level. The basketball program is, like, especially the women's, they need a lift like that. So he brings 30 years of its high school experience, but I mean, it's high level, like really, really good. His resume speaks for itself. He's got other family relations here. Jana McGinnis, I believe that is his sister-in-law. Jana McGinnis is who the softball field is named after.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
She was a longtime coach of the softball team. And Jana McGinnis' sister was also a crazy softball player here as well. So he's got pretty deep family ties to the university. The press release has more. I did not include it in the breaking news story. I think Austin did more of a feature style on it later on because I told him, hey, I didn't kind of do like the deeper stuff that we like about his family and stuff like that. I knew Ace Austin, but she's probably the biggest thing to come from that. That's news. If it breaks this week, like she's coming to Jacksonville State, like that'd be pretty insane because she is one of the better scorers around, especially she'd be just a sophomore this year.
Was that like your first breaking news story? I
guess so. It was kind of like it came about kind of by me. It was weird, right? Because I was like, hey, we just hired. She's like, I write something, and she was like, yeah, Austin's not responding. So, I mean, we might as well, yeah. So he did a better job of kind of explaining the more like the layout of it all. But yeah, it was cool to. As I like move towards working like next year, I'm really going to try to find how can I have a source like that so I can literally go to Twitter and break news before the university does that. Cause that's something that like is big in sports, that kind of thing.
That's so cool. Yeah. And I hope that, I mean, depending on if she transfers over or not, it'd be cool if you get to follow up on that and do a really cool thing with that. But anyways, thank you so much, Sam, for giving us some insights into that story. I appreciate it.
Of course. Visit jsuchanticleer.com. Go read it.
Oh, yeah, please do. All right, now we're here with another one of our correspondents, Priscila Cox, to talk about event she went to over this weekend. For Easter, she went to the president's house and got to speak to President Don Killingworth for their annual Eggstravaganza event. So, Priscila, tell me a little bit about it. What did you get to do, experience, see, talk to?
Oh my God. What didn't I do? The event actually, it wasn't at the president's house, and I covered that in the article. The event has grown so big, like they had to basically use the entire lawn, like like in front of Angel to do it. And then the actual egg hunt wasn't on that lawn because there were so many tents and stuff from like different vendors, local like groups in the community, like United Way, a lot of stuff like focused on like children and helping the campus. The actual egg hunt was like behind Angel and the quad, and it was like really funny because there's all these like eggs just everywhere, and I was like, oh, I had to keep like stepping away because I was like, oh, that's gonna crack. Okay, bye. Gosh, there was like free ice cream. It was super good, by the way, mostly because it was free. But JSU Catering did the hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff. There's a lot of SGA people just like helping, refilling like coolers and everything and helping with the event. There was a petting zoo. Oh my God, Lauren, there was a petting zoo. There was freaking like, there was 2 really cute llamas. It was awesome. My friend Macy Jane and me both like went to the event. She was like my little buddy. And while we were driving, she's like, Priscilla, is that a petting zoo? And I was like, oh my God, it is. Awesome.
That's
Best moment.
crazy.
There was
no
little
idea.
goats. There was little goats, Lauren. There were cute little goats, and they both had little Easter dresses on.
Oh.
I was like, I'm gonna cry. Too much. There were tortoises. There's like little bunnies. It was just like, tears. And the lady, oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember her name. I know her last name's Hornsby. It's Michelle Hornsby. She was the owner of Redbird Willow Farms, I think is the full name.
Oh, okay.
And she was telling me like the story of like how the farm got started is because like her son had died and they made it in his honor. And I was like, this is, oh my gosh, can I just write the entire article about you?
Yeah, genuinely.
Oh my gosh. And there's just a lot of like really cool people. I kind of wish I interviewed like more of like the students like who are working at like a lot of sororities and fraternities were like doing it because the actual egg hunt was sponsored by FSL, the Fraternity Sorority Life.
Okay.
So they did that, and so I was like, oh man, wish I kind of interviewed more of them and stuff, but they're all like super busy and like doing their stations. It's like, well, I kind of felt bad because you have like a line of children.
Right.
I was like, I don't know if this is a good time. But I got to actually interview like a few different people, like the Victory Center that helps with like veterans and students, with like veteran parents or comes from like Army families, I think. And then United Way was like really cool because they were had a booth for Imagination Library where they give out the free books. It's like that Dolly Parton program.
Yeah.
And I saw all these little kids like grabbing all these like books and stuff that I like picked out at elementary. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so precious. And I managed to get like a photo and that made me really happy. Oh my gosh, that was like the main thing with the event. There was just like so much going on, and I was like, I don't know where to start because the egg hunt doesn't start for like an hour. So that was,
I can imagine kids going crazy as soon as it started.
No, for real. There's a stampede.
Stampede.
There was so many people, they had to split it up into like 4 different age groups.
Oh, wow.
The biggest one I think was like the one with like all the 0 through 2, because like the parents and stuff were like helping the little kids, but that was so freaking cute. Oh my gosh, my favorite part of the event besides, the freaking petting zoo that made me like, tears, was the little kids, because they had this thing, there was like, Don Killingsworth, Mr. President, who I got to interview. He was pretty cool. They had this thing where they had like 20-something golden eggs, and they were like splitting them between like each like of the 4 egg hunts. And whoever got the little golden egg would get like one of like 20 huge like toddler-sized rabbit plushes.
Oh, wow.
And they were like in the back, kind of like where WoW was. And it was so funny because like they're like babies. They're like maybe 2 years old max. So this rabbit literally towers over them. There's this one photo of like, it's in the article, where Killingsworth is giving this rabbit to this little girl, and it's like she's being swallowed by
Oh my goodness.
It was so cute because I saw her like waddle away in her bed, and she almost like falls over because this rabbit is so big, and I'm like, oh my god, I
Makes
love
me
children.
wish I would have gone.
No, literally, it was so cute, and it was super precious. It was kind of funny because some of the kids were actually like kind of scared of the rabbits because of the size, and so when one of the little kids, like, he wanted to keep his little Easter egg, it was the one, I think his name's Isaiah Williams, and he got like the little egg, and Killingsworth was like, oh, here's a rabbit, and he just like ran away with this little golden egg, and I was like, oh baby. It was just super fun. it was just so much to cover, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know where to start, and I felt like I wasn't, like, talking to as many people. I just kind of, like, got in my own head and was like, I should have just, like, asked more people, you know, even if I got turned away, I should have just done more, but I think it turned out okay. Riley really helped me edit that down. I was like, hey, girl. And she's like, oh, you know, I just got off work. I'm like, girl, don't worry. I just finished the draft. But nah, it came together.
Yeah, so. I think it was really good. And when you're mentioning the tents and how they moved it out, I remember, so they had the tax day, like literally Wednesday. And that same day they were setting up for that, and I was like, what is going on over there? And I didn't know until like the day before. I was like, I asked Anna Kate, I was like, what's happening? She goes, it's the egg hunt. And I was like, oh, that's when I realized how much of a big deal this was.
No, for real, because like it's the 6th one, so it's like, oh yeah, the sucker has like grown into like a monster. Like the cutest little monster though, because there's rabbits and it was adorable. It was just really cool, and there was also just like a bunch of like community stuff too happening, because I know there was like something at the UREC that was happening. There was like an earlier Easter egg hunt like around 10:30 for like college students, and my friend Macy Jane, shout out to her, she won me a really cool cocky hat, so and she got her parking pass. She got a blue parking pass. I'm like, T-sis, T.
Exactly. Yeah, period.
And then there was another thing at the UREC too. There was like the water egg hunt thing. I didn't go to that. After the event, I went to bed. I uploaded my transcripts, did a little work, and then conked out for a bit.
Exactly.
But yeah.
One of the things I think that me and Annika were talking about was your photos and how you had cut lined them and such, and we were like, okay, she ate up, she ate down, like she's there. And I don't know if a lot of people know, especially that are listening to the podcast, what a cut line is, but basically every photo that you see on the Chanticleer has a description behind it, and we each have to type out every single one of them. And it's really feels like a grueling task sometimes. And I don't know how many photos, I can't remember how many you had.
I can look.
And how many you ended up cut lining, but I know whenever I do a gallery, it's literally like 20 to 30, and that might not seem like a lot, but when you're even doing just 5 or 10, it's like,
no, actually, like, I was like, literally, I was like debating, I was like, do I really need to include this photo? Like, do I need to? Oh my gosh, let me see if I can like find the freaking thingy thing, because I know it was at least like 10 of them, and I did, hang on, I can find like the captions I had for these. 1, 2, oh, hold on, ooh, there's more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I captioned like 9 of them, but I know there was like over 10 that I did, and I had to like select and stuff. And then I think one of you guys like helped make a little caption for one of them, for one of the like, I think the I don't know, thumbnail. I'm a social media girly. I don't know what these things are. The thumbnail image and stuff. That one I didn't do the caption for, but like everything else was like, yeah. So I'm really like proud that you got that and you ate down. When I first did cut lines for it, it was really hard for me to understand. Like, okay, present tense, got you, and all this stuff, or subject, verb. Because when you first hear it, it's just like, okay, just write what you see. I'm like, okay, I'm writing what I see. But there's like still a form to it. It's still AP. And it's something that a lot of people don't know go into what journalists do. So I think my work in like JSU Dining, because I do all the captions and stuff, is like that really helped, because I'm always like writing the present tense and stuff. So having to switch between like Chanticleer news like past to like tiny little caption and be like, okay, I can't be like as detailed, but I still have to like, that really helped. Also, speaking about the photos, this is gonna bother me. I have to get this off my chest. I had totally planned everything out. I brought like my camera and everything. I didn't bring a freaking SD card, and so I was like, oh, I'm so ready, and I was like, it was fully charged and everything, and then I opened the camera and it says no SD card, and I literally started crying at the event. I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? And then I'm like, well, I got my Motorola.
It happens sometimes. I remember like I forget my SD card, and I literally have to go all the way back, and it's the worst feeling ever. And it's like, because you're doing these stories, though they may seem small, they do take a lot of effort and a lot of energy out of you. You're not only going to the thing and interacting with all these people that you don't know, you're then gathering that information and then condensing it into something that people can read and comprehend. But then you're also like taking these photos and making sure they look right and making sure you know who's in it and what's going on, and it's fully like a whole experience thing.
For real.
It's really upsetting whenever like one thing, like you get it done and you realize, oh my gosh, I never clicked record on like somebody's interview.
Actually, oh my gosh, I've had that happen so much with my video production class, or for we did news packages, and I like totally forgot while I was covering like the band event, and I was like, I'm gonna actually throw myself off a Houston call for legal reasons. That's a joke.
Yeah,
that's a joke. It's a joke, guys. It's in Minecraft. Yeah, and that was one thing I didn't do when I was first like covering, because this is technically my second like event I've done, because I did the iftar event. I didn't get anyone's names, and I felt so bad because I was like, oh my gosh, wait, I should have. Oh, my bad. So this one I was like, okay, I want Lauren to be proud of me. I don't want her to do that much work. I'm gonna get these names, gosh darn it, even if it kills me.
No, I remember like being on a barricade taking photos for a concert, and I'm like, can I get your name? What? I need you to type your name in my phone. And I like hand my phone over. And
What's your major in hometown?
What's your major? Yeah. And they're like, oh, okay. Like, it's for the newspaper. And they're like, okay.
Do you want to be in the newspaper? I feel like that's like kind of bribing people, but I'm like, sometimes that's like the only way they'll do it. I'm like, dog, please.
Yeah. I agree. I get you. But anyways, thank you so much. You did such a great job on this.
Thanks.
And we're coming to the end of the semester, so I can't wait to see what you do next semester or anything. So thank you so much.
No problem.
That's all for The Crow. Stay up to date with JSU News and make sure you check out our website at jsuchanticleer.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at JSU Chanticleer.